take about 10 minutes of questions, if there are that many, before we break for lunch. Questions, I'm sure there are plenty for Craig. Start over there.
Thank you. I like to work with use cases. So let's say I want to sell a car, and I would go to Craigslist, put up a car and some text. Will this enable us to make it known to the chain that, hey, I'm trying to sell a car, here's the picture, here's the text?
We can actually have a complete market. Now, we get rid of the market for lemons at the same time, because let me go into your car scenario. Imagine that the entire history of this car is written to the blockchain. Not only when it was created, but every part. Imagine that the camshaft, the initial ID, is now provably linked on the blockchain. And eventually, when we get better technologies like RFID that has a better range, whatever else, every component, down to the lug nuts, will be actually tied to your car. So any replacement that is not original will be reportable. Anything that has used substandard goods will be reportable. And anyone can value the car based on every single service, everything you've done, every update.
So you could flag it as I want to sell it, and websites like Craigslist can scrape that from the graph or query it and then place it on the website, for example, instead of me having to put it on the website.
We could create Craigslist inside Bitcoin. There won't even be Craigslist. There could be an app that is actually a new type of wallet. So this wallet app on your phone accesses the internet, filters out the regions you want. So we could go right down to, I'm looking in New York, I want to go to some of the South boroughs, and I want to find a car between this value and this value, and I want it to be at least 90% original parts. I want it to have been serviced this many times. Find my car. Thank you.
Craigslist, that's a really good idea for a name for a business for you. Run Day. Question right here.
Thank you very much again for a fantastic presentation. I have a specific question regarding the gaming industry.
Yes.
How do you see the casino of the future looking like based on Bitcoin network? Thank you.
Of course, I think you're talking about a combination of things here. You're going to have physical games where it's actually linked instead of the tokens. It could actually be a swipe card or something else, and you could have a virtual game that way. But on top of that, it will enable licensed operators. So we could actually have a meta key for the regulator. So the regulator now has an automated payment, automated validation system where the regulator doesn't go in and go, you're bad or anything like this, but can ensure that no one's gaming the system. One of the problems and why we have regulators is the fact that it is very easy to start as a bookkeeper or bookie buying up particular aspects of a game and thus weight something or cheat. That's why all these things happen, because in the 40s and 50s, there were a lot of baseball games that were rigged. There were people paid off in fights. We don't want that. We want honest gambling if we have gambling.
No more bribing of regulators.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, there's a
if
question.
you bribe them, you get a record, so you can see which regulators you need to bribe.
Yeah.
And then, as a consumer, you can choose, do I go to the regulators that take bribes or the honest ones?
I'll take a question up there. Gentleman up there.
Hello there, Craig. Great, it's me over here. Hiya. Yeah. Great talk today. I'm starting to get excited now because people are starting to mention big businesses. How do we go about getting these big businesses? Do we approach them? Do they approach us? How does it all work in terms of how the big businesses come on board?
I think you find something that you're really good at. I'm a fox. Other people are hedgehogs. We need people to go out there as hedgehogs, find an area that they are really, really good at. Something like EDI, something like logistics, and talk to the companies already there and find a way of making something that's going to make everyone money. Create a new app so that when deliveries happen on Amazon, Amazon actually wants to buy your app and your company because it allows them to get there. Think about Google bought Authenticator. It's a crappy one-time sort of security thing. And I'll say crappy, it's annoying. You can lose it, you move phones, you have... it's horrible, horrible, horrible. And they got hundreds of millions of dollars for the freaking thing. And yet it's horrible. Okay, you take Money Button and you redeploy it and you make it a, not money, but tokenized access token. You use the token protocol and you have issued tokens for logging in. And you allow any phone you have to do it. And you can move it and issue them to other people. And it's way better.
Ryan Charles, I think you just got a second business model there somewhere. Okay, Dominic Frisbee, question behind you, right there. Yep.
Hi. What's the best way to invest in this?
BSV.
I'll
yeah,
tell
you
you to
know
make
me.
shovels.
Shovels.
My answer will always be, find something on this, be first, be best. I'm not going to tell you to pump anything. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to tell you to build an application. Build something that's really good.
If you can't write code, if you just want to, you like the investment theme, you just want to invest in it, and leave the building to other people, what's the best vehicle to play it?
I don't give out investment advice. But, I mean, I'm not going to, I'm sorry. But there are great applications out there already. I mean, there are things like Money Button that are growing. There are CentB that are growing. Find something like Squire as they grow and get on board and try and help and promote them.
I would say as nChain and the team develops this, and releases it publicly, at least the steps to it, there will be, I predict, businesses that come along, young entrepreneurs who see the potential in this and start building their own products, applications, ventures on it, and I'm sure they will be seeking investment. And when you find good ones, it's a good investment opportunity, potentially. Yeah, Jerry's got a question there.
Thank you. How do you solve the problem of, because I'm just going through the example you had, which was good, where Bob wanted to buy something from Alice, and then they do an atomic swap. Alice gives Bob a key. If what Bob is purchasing is, say, digital streaming content, then sorry if this is technical, but then how do you solve the problem that once Bob has bought the content, he doesn't then host the content and then charge other people for it when it really is Alice's content and she should continue charging?
What we end up with is a times data function that is actually offline IP to IP transfers. So effectively you're updating in the background. So with Bitcoin, the original way it was with n-sequence, etc., we can actually start updating fraction by fraction by fraction and tie that to all of this as it's streaming. Now, it's actually a very small additional component even to video streaming. So we can actually have each frame sold as you're going. Now, the update to a zeta function would then be only valid in respect not only to where it is now and your keys, but current block height and things like this. So if you are streaming it to multiple parties, you could have then you buy it and split it off to other such things, but then we could make it cheap enough that even that's not going to be worthwhile.
All right, one more question here.
Just a comment. I think that you just solved not only the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, but you just go beyond. Thank you.
All right, we'll take one last question from a gentleman up there.
Cool, thanks, Craig. I just wanted to ask, what are the problems with large blocks, and what is holding you back from having big blocks now?
We have to fix the code. There are a lot of little things that have been added, like random delays and removing some of the early things that just break everything. So as we're doing stress tests, sometimes we find bits of code that no one knew. There's a lot of Bitcoin core code that has never been formally documented, and no one really knows what it is. So part of what we're doing in this with Terranode project is actually rewriting it all from scratch. Original protocol and just going, bugger this. At the same time, we're spending all our time and effort rewriting a complete fresh system without all the bullshit behind. So we've got two parts. One, with SV, we're going to get it actually to the early stages, 4,000, 8,000 transactions a second, which I think the base core protocol will die after that. Then we'll have the Terranode project where we have a microservices distributed architecture, basically allowing you to parallelize all the transactions, allowing you to grow as fast and good as you can. So,
but using the core design and protocol.
yeah, using the same protocol. None of the protocol will change. The code will get better. And I thank my team, and I thank all the people working at nChain and who've made this possible for me for allowing all of this. So thank you guys.
Yeah.